And it's still pretty much the way it was. And Gargamuni, he had carts also. He was chanting and then he'd preach and he'd get donations and he'd go buy boba and he'd go to some sympathetic hippie pad and cook, offer, and go back to the campus and do the same thing all over. This went on for a week or so until he finally met some serious students who took him in, David and Adrian, and they became the first devotees, Amarendra and Gayatri. And so that temple literally started going to that campus green and preaching and giving out prasad. And to this day, it's going on only on an amazing scale. It's the longest standing, continuous prasadam program. And that's another story. So, let's see. One of the ironies of this is that 4 summers earlier, Prabhupada had said on the eve of the first initiation is that, you have to accept the spiritual master as God, right? And Brahmananda was there. Or was he? He was the second batch. Yeah, I think he was in the second batch. Anyway, so here it is 4 summers later, and they're preaching. Well, you know what they were using as justification that Prabhupada was Krishna? It was page 59 of the first edition of Nectar Devotion, where it says, Lord Krishna tells Uddhava, "O Uddhava, know the Acaraya to be my very self." We now know it as Acaraya mam vajaniyam navamanyeta karhichit. This is a famous verse in the 11th canto, where the non-difference of God and Guru was there. There's also a difference, of course, too. So they had the abeda, the non-difference, but they forgot the beta, they forgot the difference. They forgot it sakshadari tvena, like we sing in the morning. Or you do, now I'm getting up too late. Sakshadari tvena, the spiritual master is to be honored as much as the Supreme Lord because of being the most confidential servitor of the Lord. Not that he is the Lord, but he has the same quality, same will, same desire. So, aghast at how they had been misled by an envious view of Srila Prabhupada, these young men then overcompensated by saying Prabhupada was Krishna. To uproot this impersonal weed in the heart of his movement, Prabhupada expelled the sannyasis from ISKCON until they rectified themselves. And they did. Very wonderfully, actually. Each one of them. So, that's an obvious fiction. Prabhupada is God. I mean, now it is. But put nothing past Maya. She can make you believe up is down, right is wrong, black is white, good is bad, expert. So even something as transparently wrong as that can be seen as right if you're really confused. Alright, here's another one. Now this is where it starts getting tricky because it's incomplete. You have another ladies' mic? You want to read?
Those who can't talk. Those who can't lead themselves. Okay. Yeah, go on.
There it is. Can you just read it like a person?
This fiction, ISKCON is Prabhupada.
Yeah, ISKCON is Prabhupada. So, of course, ISKCON is Prabhupada's energy. It's his vehicle for preaching. Let's see here. Well, ISKCON is certainly Srila Prabhupada's energy. As its creator, Prabhupada retains his own unique identity. So let's look at the fact. Mataji, you want to read that?
Fact, you're all my limbs of my body. Unless you cooperate, my life will be useless. The senses and life are correlated. Without life, the senses cannot act, and without sense, life is inactive.
There's a more famous quote than that, but I didn't use it because the record button was not pressed, so it was only very likely ear witness testimony. I'm getting at the quote, ISKCON is my body. You probably heard that. Yeah, almost certainly Prabhupada said that, but this says the same thing. You are all my limbs of my body. senses and life are correlative. You can't have one without the other. So here's how Prabhupada expressed the oneness and difference of himself and ISKCON to some students in the UK who weren't even devotees. They were just guests, but Prabhupada saw fit to tell them this in July 73, that same summer when all those pictures were taken. Suppose if I say, I am everything in this my institution, does it mean I have lost my personality? No. No. If somebody says that Bhaktivedanta Swami is everything, does it mean I have lost my personality? That is material understanding. So the danger of just sort of blithely saying ISKCON is Prabhupada is that, if anything, that means, therefore, anything that happens at ISKCON is therefore Prabhupada, right? Not. It may be, it may not be. And you don't know unless you really know Prabhupada's life, his teachings, his mood, his mission. So we always have to distinguish between what Prabhupada wants and what is actually happening in ISKCON. And so hopefully we are lining up with Prabhupada, we're doing his will. But that doesn't always happen. ISKCON is Prabhupada is fictional because it is incomplete. As the founder of Acaraya, Srila Prabhupada is certainly ISKCON, but everything in ISKCON doesn't contain Prabhupada. Oneness without difference is impersonal and incomplete. So, similarly, the next fiction, in the next slide, we'll look at a similar subtle fiction. Boy, this is really, I guess it's all the light, huh?
Difficult to do because the sun is still very strong.
Yeah. Anyway, there's that similar Mayapur shot. We saw this before, a different shot of the same wall. There's a young, this is a little bit of a profile of Jayapataka Maharaj. There's a young man. There's Shri Kirti, Yadavar Prabhu. You know Kavi Chandra Swami? This is Kavi Chandra Das Adhikari. And Vishnu Jana Maharaj. So, there's more, this is a little bit of Satsut Maharaj. In Mayapur, Yadavar with that peacock fan. So, fiction.
The GBC is Prabhupada.
Yes. Let's look at the fact. Here's the fact. And the fact we take right from Prabhupada's rule.
The Governing Body Commission, GBC, will be the ultimate managing authority for the entire international society of Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, a famous ultimate managing authority, UMA. The UMA issue. Much debated. It took the GBC, let's see, 23 and 13, 36 years to define UMA. In 2013, the GBC came out with a resolution, or a position paper, which was ratified and became a resolution. And here's how they defined UMA, Ultimate Managing Authority. Quote, when we use the word authority in the context of the managerial structure, we do not mean an absolute infallible authority. Thank you. Such as the authority of Scripture. But the mandate to organize the preaching movement so that it is aligned with the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. That's what the GBC is there to do. Manage the preaching. And when things go off the beam, then they have to rein it in. So therefore, especially the GBC, have to be on the beam. So, although Prabhupada did not have faith in any one GBC member, following the vision of Srila Bhaktivinoda and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, Srila Prabhupada did have faith in the GBC body. He had faith in the collective intelligence and sincerity and faithfulness of the body. provided they acted cooperatively to carry out his instructions. Here's how Srila Prabhupada put it to Tamal Krishna Maharaj, as recorded in TKG's diary. So this is a very telling diary entry from the 27th of June, 77, just a few days after Prabhupada signed the will. And it's a significant event. In the middle of the night, Srila Prabhupada called for me. He could not sleep. Thinking of the will had kept him up. He's already signed the will. He's already, protected his con with legal document, but he's still worried. He's still very concerned about his movement, about the GBC, about how things are going to go on. So in the middle of the night, he woke up to Lal Krishna Maharaj, and he said, amongst the GBC, have you selected one after me who will succeed? Prabhupada's testing. Because was not his intention. Right? I replied that we felt that we should manage together as a group, but none of us was more qualified than the others. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj passed the test. Yes, each of you can be, listen to this might surprise you, Acaraya of your zone. Prabhupada, he was the one who started the zonal Acaraya system. But it was we who gave ourselves the zonal Acaraya nightmare. Prabhupada thought that, when he passes away, then they can, stay in their zones and they can continue initiating. But now, they're his disciples, their disciples. Although it was Srila Prabhupada himself who gave us the zonal Acharya system, some of his immature leaders gave us the zonal Acharya nightmare. The dark night of ISKCON's soul, when competing Acharyas were threatening the integrity of the entire Hare Krishna movement. If you weren't in ISKCON in the 80s, you joined in when? 85? 82. Okay, so maybe you were too young to notice or something.
Yeah, sort of.
We noticed some of it.
Okay. But there were as many Hare Krishna movements in those days as there were zonal acharyas. That's what was going on. They became like kingdoms. And it was wrong. It was threatening the integrity of the entire movement. That's not what Prabhupada intended. Only when the GBC again heeded our founder Acharya's mandate to work cooperatively did ISKCON start the long recovery process that continues to this day. We're still recovering from that. We still have a lot of, turf wars and, politics, but it shouldn't be like that. Not supposed to be like that. So the GBC is Prabhupada is fictional because again it's incomplete. Although Prabhupada is the GBC doesn't contain or replace Prabhupada, whose everlasting Vani remains the supreme authority in ISKCON and to whom we're all accountable. Everybody's accountable to that, including the GBCs. Reality always includes oneness and difference. Now the next fiction is a leftover or a hangover from the zonal Acharya nightmare. And here it is. Oh, there's that shot again. Yeah, there's Srila. And there's Guru Kripa now turning toward this way. You know how this shot was got? It's really interesting. Vishaka, my wonderful god sister, tells that she had permission from the BBT to go up on the cart where Prabhupada and all the leaders were and take shots at Prabhupada. But when she anticipated that maybe she's going to get some resistance for this, being a lady. So she had the letter or the whatever, the written permission on her person. But she goes to climb up in the cart. Sure enough, she's not allowed. No matter how many times she explains and flashes the letter and so she just throws her hands up to fate and then she wanders away from the cart. At this point the cart stopped. And then she finds a position way out in the field that when she stands on something that was there and she uses her zoom lens, she said, I never could have got such good shots. Krishna showed me a better place to stand. So this is Krishna's mercy. And she got all these famous shots of both, they're movies. Movie and pictures. Well, her husband was taking the movie, and she's taking the photographs. Usually it's the other way around. Okay, so, whoops. Okay. So there's the fiction. Prabhupada is the guru only of his initiated disciples. Let's read the back. Who wants to read? All right. You're going to have to come up here, right? Sit on the chair. The senior chair.
Fact. Srila Prabhupada is the foundation Shiksha Guru for all Islam's devotees because he has realized and presented the teaching of the previous acharyas of the Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, Sampradaya appropriately for the modern age.
Yeah, now this was the first, thank you. This was the first founder acharya, so-called founder acharya statement or resolution that happened in 1994, as early as 94. There's been several since then. In March, right in Srila Mayapur. Now, a few months later, 5 months later, in August, it was Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja Day. And in Mayapur, a godbrother of mine was chanting japa in the courtyard. If you know where the Maha counter is, where they sell the cakes and the pizzas and the Garuda Stamba, there was a whole courtyard. He's chanting japa. It's the morning of Vyasa Puja Day, after Janmashtami. And lo and behold, in the corner of the courtyard, what does he see? He sees a young local brahmachari chomping down on a big piece of pizza. So as sensitively as he can, as tactfully as he can, he approaches the young brahmachari and says, "Oh Prabhu, maybe you didn't know, today is Vyasa Puja Day, Prabhupada's appearance day, and we're all fasting." So the brahmachari looks at my godmother and says, "Well, you say that because he's your spiritual master, he's not my spiritual master." So my godmother, he was so stunned, he was so nonplussed, so taken back, so surprised, shocked. He didn't say anything. He just walked away, meditating on how deep, the imitation of Prabhupada's position still was, despite that first founder acharya resolution. Obviously no one told that brahmacharya about the resolution that had just been passed in the same place where he was, disregarding Prabhupada. Foundational spiritual master for all devotees in this kind. We're going to take a deeper look at that resolution in the next lesson. So,
Can I say?
yes.
When I joined, then we were told doing Guru Puja. So there was Guru Puja simultaneously for Prabhupada and for our Zone Guru. And then I was trying to, it was going simultaneously, so I was focused on the Zone Guru, then I was also with Prabhupada. And then I was told, you keep to your Guru. This is
Weird, huh?
So that was, it was kind of the understanding.
Yeah, understanding, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Such chaos. For years and years and years. Yeah, and we didn't really realize, when Prabhupada introduced Guru Puja. I mentioned how he introduced Guru Puja yet? No? Maybe it's coming up. Yeah, I think it's coming up in the lesson. Yeah, I think it is. I'll tell you how we introduced Guru Puja in a little while. So let's look at the fact. Oh, that is the fact. Okay, what are we looking at here? 5 months after the GBC passed this resolution on Srila Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja morning, I just told the story. Okay. Since 1994, the GBC has passed several founder acharya resolutions. So they're actually, the leadership is coming to some understanding now. You said that was the understanding. There was no understanding. It was wacko. Here's the latest Founder Acharya resolution. This is 2013. Srila Prabhupada, as the Founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, is the preeminent Shiksha Guru for all members of ISKCON. All members of ISKCON for all generations are encouraged to seek shelter of Srila Prabhupada. All members of ISKCON are entitled and encouraged to have a personal relationship with Srila Prabhupada through his books, teachings, service, and his ISKCON society. So, we don't need more legislation, really, about Prabhupada's position. It's already so many resolutions. We need more education. So, resolutions are passed, but if they're not followed up with practical things like the Disciples Course and this seminar that I'm teaching, and if the people, especially people who have disciples, aren't insisting their disciples understand Prabhupada's position, then it just, the old, ways continue. The good news is that it's more and more moving in the right direction. So, but it's still not fast enough. I think, did I tell you when I was in New Zealand, in Auckland? Did I tell you the story about here? No? Okay. A few years ago I was presenting in Auckland, and the vice president, he happens to be a disciple of Jayapataka Maharaj. So he was really appreciating the Founder Acharya series, and then he was complaining or lamenting to me about how there were many Jayapataka Maharaj disciples in the temple who were very junior to him, and they insisted on having a Vyasa Puja celebration bigger than Prabhupada's. Insisted. And here was their rationale. Prabhu, don't you get it? Prabhupada only initiated not even 5,000 people. Maharaj has initiated tens of thousands of people. Don't you get it? Get what? It's a numbers game here? What's happening? So he was saying, Suresvara, these people don't understand what's going on. They don't understand Prabhupada's position. So, what to do? And here's the irony. You already saw in the Founder Acharya lesson. You know that translation I had of Harinama Chintamani about the Adyacharya? Remember the Adyacharya, the Founder Acharya? That was Jayapataka Maharaj's translation. He gets it. That's from 1989. That's a Vyasa Puja offering he wrote to Prabhupada, citing Harinama Chintamani, because he knew Bengali too. But, so it's very often it's the fanatic disciples that don't get it. What we do? Anyway, we need more education. We don't need more resolutions about this. We need more education, and it's happening with the Disciples Course and this kind of stuff. Okay, so we need more education, as the following sentimental fictions about Srila Prabhupada will again remind us. So we move now from impersonal. What were the impersonal fictions? Prabhupada is God.
GBC.
First was
ISKCON.
ISKCON. Is Prabhupada equal in all respects?
GBC is Prabhupada.
Is Prabhupada equal in all respects? Not. And finally, Prabhupada's the Guru.
Only of his initiated
Only of his
disciples.
initiated disciples. That's what I keep saying. That's not my core identity, is that I'm his initiated disciple. No, that's not what makes me a Prabhupada follower. I'm his instructed follower. That's what makes me his disciple.
If I can just add to this example that I gave, actually what I got from there was a wrong understanding that Prabhupada is just a guru in the line of gurus. Is that also being addressed here?
He's a what?
One guru in the line of the gurus.
Who is? Prabhupada.
Prabhupada.
Yeah, right. He's a previous Acharya.
Yeah, he's
He is a previous Acharya, but he's a lot more than that. A founder Acharya is a lot more than a previous Acharya. Somebody who's qualified on the level of a founder Acharya, who can take the Sampradaya in a dynamic direction, like all around the world 14 times in 12 years. No one's ever done, I mean, even among founder Acharyas, Prabhupada's contribution is unprecedented. Yeah, he's on our upline in the Parampara, to borrow a multi-level marketing phrase. He's not just simply a previous Acharya. As glorious as that is, what to speak of a regular guru. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to see, I think it's how Prabhupada initiated his Guru Puja. And we're going to look at that. I hope. And if it's not in my notes, I'll have to tell you how to do that. Okay, sentimental fictions. Who wants to read? Maharaj, you want to read? Prabhupada looking rather bemused. Alright, there's the bell in my floor. It's ringing the bell. You know the bell? Prabhupada would go around. You know the bell in the corner, right about his altar. Okay. Illusory, we're going to see what that means.
Figurehead.
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 You know what a figurehead is? You have that word? Okay, we'll look at that.
Gone forever.
Gone.
Diksha Guru forever.
These are like flip sides of Maya. Gone forever and Diksha Guru forever. You notice I didn't say the R word. Perfectly good word, but it's been politicized beyond recognition, so you can't even say the word anymore. The R word. Pretty quick. Perfectly good word. It's like you can't say the word gay anymore. It used to be a perfectly good word, but it's been co-opted by a community with an agenda. So, Wakaru. All right. Has anybody, have you read, I think I asked this, have you read My Glorious Master? Original book? Okay. So, in My Glorious Master, Borijan recounts how he and his wife, Jagatarini, have they ever been here? Have they ever been to Denmark? No.
Yes.
No? Okay. I don't think he has any disciples here. But you've read his book, yeah, Surrender Unto Me, and great book. Yeah. So he and Jagatarini Mataji, they were pioneering Hong Kong. Yeah. And they didn't have any association. Jai Krishna. And so, not only that, but they did have association, but it wasn't very good. It was critical, destructively critical, not constructively critical. Destructively critical association of ISKCON, and they were devotees in ISKCON, but they were not, they were very critical. And so, they were in Hong Kong, and they were preaching, Jagatarini and Borijan, to the Chinese in Hong Kong. And I think Borijan got permission from Prabhupada to grow his hair out a little, so to fit in or something. It was either that or, anyway, they made some adjustments. But they just started adjusting everything, you know. And remember what we were talking about, changing principles and, you know, adjusting details. I didn't know the difference. So anyway, they weren't doing it right, because what happened over time was, from turning first their living room was a temple room, and then they moved the deities in the back, and they just made the living room like a lounge, which could have been okay, but then